what do I think when I go back and look at my pictures from 10 and 20 years ago? Sometimes I say, what was I thinking? Sometimes I say, is that me? Oh my God. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, you were so cute.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Brose here, and I'm back with a new video. Welcome to the Brose brand. And today we're going to be doing another episode of Analyzing the Eras. And today we're going to be doing Mary J. Blige. Now, I know I was supposed to do a couple other people, but I wanted to do this because this was a personal request from someone in the comments. So shout out to them. And you know, I have to rep for y'all, give y'all what y'all want. But I do feel like I'm doing ASAP next. So let's talk about Mary J. Blige, the one and only queen of hip hop soul. Now, although she's known for her music career and her, iconic hits that spans over 3 decades, we have to talk about her style and her fashion. She has been influential in just her style and the things that she wear. You know, she's known for her thigh-high boots and, being one of the only black women with natural blonde hair. You know, the running joke that goes on Twitter. But, she kind of cultivated style and different looks. And I wanted to just highlight some of her fashion and just her style evolution. Just to give you a little bit of background, she was born on January 11th, 1971 in the Bronx in New York City. She has had a profound impact on fashion, evolving her style alongside her music career, and her fashion eras reflect every personal growth. She definitely changing musical sound and her influence as a cultural icon. She has just been a soundtrack to a lot of people's lives. She speaks with conviction, she sings with conviction, so people have grown to love her. So let's start with the early 90s, like hip hop soul. So early on, Mary J. Blige started working with Misa Hilton. Everybody knows Misa is one of the most influential stylists in the game. She has styled people from, heavy hitters like Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, Jodeci, D.I.D.D.Y. She had a son with him, Biggie, and the list goes on and on. Very popular.
Coming out, I think you two ladies will click. You're both from Westchester, New York. She's from Yonkers, and you're from Mount Vernon. And I want you to meet because I want you to style her. And that was Miss Mary J. Blige.
Earlier in the 90s, very hip hop, very street style, and I would say this was kind of like she kind of broke the mold a little bit.
You look like somebody that they'd see maybe walking down the street or at the mall. Although they busted you out for those videos, Real Love, got the hair with the little outfit.
Watch when you see her new video, next.
Really? That's the next single?
That's the next single.
Really? What's the look for Mary J. Blige?
To the next level. Hip-hop fly. She's all the way fly.
Tell us, who is Mary J. Blige's favorite fashion icon of all time?
I mean, you got so many people. If you look to my generation, we got to start with us first. We got to start with Misa. We got to start with J-Lo. We got to start with Lil' Kim. We got to start with. It's not big.
It's a lot, though.
It's a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the pioneers. We will start with a Misa.
A lot of R&B women were wearing gowns and dresses, singing like the Whitney Houstons, Anita Bakers, Mariah Carey. They weren't really wearing like a lot of baggy stuff. Mary kind of changed the game by coming with baggy jeans, hoodies. She kind of broke the music scene with her debut album Whistle 401, and her style was deeply rooted in her culture, where she came from. She often wore like oversized baggy jeans, hoodies, like I said, leather jackets paired with chunky gold jewelry like hoops, chains, and things like that. But she also would add a feminine touch, like a little like bralette or like something, but she would change it up. She often also wore Timberland sportswear. She kind of embraced more masculine style a little bit, and it was very chic aesthetic. It was very like, you'll see the around the way girl aesthetic that kind of was worn back then. And she also kind of combined it with high-end accessories, creating a look that was both comfortable and edgy. So you could see it, and she always wore fitteds to the back. This period defined her hip hop soul as a fusion of R&B and hip hop, and her fashion choices helped solidify that as well, kind of reflecting. And during this time, she would rock the curly hair, but then she would also have like the short cut. She would have like kind of like these little wand curls. It was very like a dark brown, like a little highlight brown, or she'll sometimes switch it out for a short cut. But it was like either or would have fitted to the back, and just hoops. Her makeup was very natural. She kept it natural with a darker lip sometimes. Mary was definitely showcasing her around the way look. I would say between this album and My Life, it kind of stayed the same, but I think in My Life she started introduced more. Her hair kind of got lighter, and she kind of grew up a little bit more, and she kind of had that blonde aesthetic going on, and that's where she kind of introduced her to kind of like a foundation of who Mary was, in a sense. It was very tomboy cool, you know, when she was performing and when she wasn't performing. It was kind of like the same aesthetic over and over. As time grew, she was kind of getting to a little bit more feminine wear, wearing like shiny black bodysuits, you know, her signature dark glasses that she kind of kept with her, and like her hoop earrings. So as we move to My Life era, the 94, 95 era, she kind of feminized it up a little bit compared to her past. She was growing, she was taking more risks during this time in 95. After the debut of her album. So like some of my favorite things she wore was this black bodysuit at the Billboard Music Awards in 95 with this blonde hair and with a Fendi bag.
This was the Billboard Award, and I was trying to give off sexy Catwoman kind of thing without the ears because I wanted something to match my Fendi bag that had patent leather on it. This outfit is Gucci. I mean, at this point, I was all about more is more. Lots of rings, blondest hair or the reddest hair. I wore black lipstick or dark lipstick, just as many accessories as I could find.
I definitely want to get into her next era, which kind of focuses on her glamour and getting more into her glamour bag. I felt like she was becoming a woman, and this kind of starts from her Share My World era, and she was kind of becoming a bigger artist than ever before. She was rocking monochrome looks, she was wearing updos, her hair was a darker blonde, but she was winning a lot of awards, getting recognized for releasing Share My World in 1997. Her style began to shift towards more of a polished, glamorous look. She started experimenting with more high fashion pieces, such as wearing, you know, gowns a little bit. She always kept her two-pieces stuff, but she did kind of wear gowns during this era and dresses a little bit here and there. She was covering Essence magazine, Jet, Ebony, Vibe. This era ranged from 96 to 99. Of course, you know, change her hair from blonde to auburn, keeping that lighter look going on. She will wear bold statements, large statement earrings, you know, bold necklaces, chunky bracelets, you know, becoming that style again. Deep colors and luxe fabrics. Blige embraced rich deep colors like emerald, blue, gold, satin, velvet, and sequins as materials, you know, keeping that different vibes. This was her height of her mainstream success in the 90s, I would say. So then let's move on to the 2000s high fashion hip hop fusion, and that's where, you know, she was kind of rocking like some more iconic hairstyles in different cuts, kind of like the Farrah Fawcett look. Style was kind of changing in 2000, so she was kind of changing with them, but she was again upping her glamour more, kind of wearing less. She was showing some skin too. I feel like she was feeling very sexy in this era as well. This was kind of like her fur couture luxe accessories era. So she was doing fashion shows with the Tommy Hilfiger, wearing, you know, pinks, blues, you know, the denim era she was kind of rocking. This period saw wearing, you know, a lot of high-end designs. Other than Fendi, this kind of era she was rocking Versace, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana. She still kept it grounded with her flair with the jewelry. And it was still kind of her. It was kind of like her ghetto fabulous era too. I think this era in the late 90s era was kind of like her ghetto fabulous era conjoined, but I feel like this one she was a little bit more showing skin and being a little bit more freer in her look. She kind of famously mixed streetwear with designer pieces, rocking jeans with the couture jackets, kind of like a high-low look she would do. And, you know, she was rocking the different haircuts. Like, the hair was out of this world. Like, you would see it with the short cut, a bang, a snippy bob, ponytail. Like, she was doing her thing. The blonde pixie cuts, you know, the short cuts was crazy. Like, this red look that she did for No More Drama was super super iconic. So now we get into kind of like her mid 2000s look where she kind of changed it up. She kind of got rid of the short and kind of went long with it. Kind of had brown and blonde highlights. I think this was kind of like mid 30s, like I'm showcasing who I am. You know, she was kind of already solidified a legend at this point with her career. And she was just kind of transitioning into the next phase of her life. I feel like she kind of took a kind of not a break from music, but like a standstill, a little hiatus. And she kind of came back in 2005 with her breakthrough era. And I feel like this era, her fashion was kind of toned down from previous eras. It was kind of simplistic.
Sometimes tough, but like this is like little girl. She was so cute.
Thank you. I love the dress. I'm always pants and jeans and leggings. Let me just try to
you
be
guys like
ladylike.
this, Mary?
Then we get into her late 2000s. And this is like refined elegance era. She, you know, where she kind of wore shirt cuts or bold statements. She has sophisticated silhouettes. Her music evolved. She was kind of embraced the more sophisticated looks, and her looks were more tailored. Opting with sleek gowns, form-fitting. She gravitated towards strong, modern silhouettes such as structured blazers, tailored trousers. Kind of like a step up from her last era.
And I had to grow into all of the gowns and stuff like that. But I came out of the hood like this, with Timbs and furs and, you know, not furs yet, but furs was coming. But that's who I saw, you know, the female, you know, queen pins in my neighborhood and all the men that had money.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, she would wear monochrome metallic. She often wore sleek metallic tones, all black ensembles, bold pops of color. It was sophisticated yet still unapologetically her. Hairstyle choices often short or in chic, voluminous waves paired with strong makeup. It became a part of her signature style during this era. And it sported bold lips and sharp eyeliner, balancing femininity with a little bit of strength. It kind of reflected her confidence. She was growing more mature. She had My Life, Part 2, The Journey Continues in 2011, and The Strength of a Woman in 2017. And her fashion was evolving. And then during this time, she was kind of getting her partnership era, you know, outside of doing fashion shows and doing appearances and doing, you know, she was kind of like getting into her own thing. So she kind of launched her home shopping network. She launched her perfume line through Carol's Daughter, and the fragrance broke record sales, and she has been awarded with 2 prestigious awards. You know, people love Mary, so of course they would love her products. So she kind of got into that. Then she kind of released her own sunglasses line called Melodies in 2010. It featured like 20 different colors and styles. Each style represented a specific facet in her life. Then we go to the next era, and that's between 2013 and 2018. And you know, her style was simple during this era, kind of like a leather jacket, leather looks, simple top, short haircuts with the swoop, you know, sometimes wearing a bob, you know, bringing that back, still pantsuits, form-fitting dresses, things of that nature. And then like around 2016, she was going through a divorce, and that's kind of when a lot of things was going on in her life. It was reflecting a lot, but she was still remaining resilient during this time. And I feel like this time was simplistic fashionably, but she was still trying to make it through. But I do feel like this next era is when kind of Mary started really solidifying herself. Like from her red carpets in 2018 was a big moment for her, and she was kind of on the brink of finishing up her divorce during this time. So I feel like she kind of let that load go, and she was able to like be herself. And this kind of entering the empowered, versatile look, and which ranges from 2019 to present day. You know, Mary continues to embrace fashion. During this time, she kind of continues to experiment with fashion, embracing both avant-garde and classic looks now. This era re-emerged Mary into the forefront of the limelight and being more talked about with her other things that she was doing, from her documentaries to her tours to her acting career. You know, Mary continued, she was experimenting with fashion more, avant-garde with classic looks, mixing modern styles, but her vintage 2 pieces and thigh-high boots going on. You know, you see her with her glamour with the blonde trenches. Then now she's kind of going to the auburn, back to the auburn look again. Whether it was high fashion dresses or edgy streetwear, she combined with elegance with, you know, her signature attitude. She's been, you know, turning heads with wearing, you know, thigh-high boots with dresses. You know, that was her signature. Form-fitting bodysuits and, you know, statement pieces, and just diversity in her style with more pronounced and embracing a wide range of styles. I feel like she looks amazing during this era.
I love Chanel just because it's just classic. Givenchy is just a major. Giuseppe, Tom Ford, I love his eyewear, I love his clothes, they're amazing. Rag & Bone. El Tahari is great too, and I still love Catherine Malandrino stuff. The fashion world has, to me, as an artist, because our image is, you know, a lot. It's everything when it comes to fan base and, you know, just being a trailblazer.
She released 2 albums recently, kind of now living off her legacy, but still remaining relevant with her release of new music. People's getting to know who Mary is. A new generation getting to know who Mary is again, and she's looking better than ever post-divorce and making things her signature. I will say, you know, Mary's kind of getting into her fashion bag. She did a collaboration with Giuseppe Zanotti that was sold out in one day. The boots kind of retail for $12.95. And we're available on the website. And I feel like I don't know why it took her so long to get into that, because
Yo, Mary, how real you take this fashion? You love it.
It's a part of who we are, Joe. You know that. Can you do a video without this on or without?
No, you can't, but
I mean, but I'm saying, oh, like, this is who we are. We grew up in this. Before we was even superstars like this, we seen this in the hood. Fashion is fun.
yo, what is it with these joints, with these boots? These boots sold out in like minutes.
Yeah, well, like a day.
Mary's been rocking thigh highs since thigh highs were thigh highs, you know. So she should have been had that, but you know, time is everything. She also kind of released throwback apparel on her site that went along with her Good Morning Gorgeous album. So she was kind of getting into, you know, her apparel wise, kind of keeping up with the times, because that's kind of big in with stars right now. Overall, key fashion themes in Mary's style was definitely her weather, embracing street style and couture. Her fashion was always a reflection of her personal strength and resilience and the things that she'd been through. She was a master at combining high fashion with streetwear, creating styles that feel bold and inspiring. From her street smart aesthetic in the 90s to her glamorous looks and globally recognized fashion that she wears now to this day, from her hair to her makeup to her style. She has always encompassed the full look of a fashion icon. So I salute Mary. Shout out to Mary. I can't wait to see what she does next. Let me know what you think about this video, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on my next one. Peace.
Style is less is more. It's what's comfortable. It's what we did when we were growing up. It was what every drug dealer that we knew, from female to male, who was super fly, who had money in our neighborhood, did.